Good evening, guys. Welcome back into Vinny and the Jets. And we are live for our Week 6 preview, or excuse me, Week 7 preview. I'm losing it. New York Jets are visiting the Denver Broncos out in Mile High. And of course, for those of you that don't know, which I'm sure you know already, our wide receiver, number 8, Elijah Moore, has requested a trade. Why? Why now? We're on a 3-game winning streak. How could you do this, Elijah? How could you do this? We're going to get into it. Don't mind my cap. I know the Yankees are down 2 games in the ALCS to the Houston Astros. I pray they get it back together when we come back to the Bronx. Save that for another time. Let's talk about this matchup. This game opened up with the Jets being 3.5-point dogs. It's at the end of last week when we came off of our big victory in Lambeau Field with the Green Bay Packers. Fast forward to today on Thursday. I don't know what the line is where you guys live, but where I'm at in Connecticut, the line has gone all the way down to half a point. In some areas, it's now a pick'em, which is crazy. What does that mean? It means a lot of money's coming in on the Jets. And that's a good thing, because that means the league is starting to take notice. The Jets are now getting attention. They were the national game last week on Fox when they played the Packers, and to show the whole country that you went into Lambeau Field and completely blasted them. I mean, that says a lot. The week prior to that, you dropped the 40 burger on Miami, and now this game, Jake, what's going on, brother? Forgive my voice. I'm getting over bronchitis here. But it's an AFC opponent. You absolutely have to win this game. And not to say that the Broncos don't have their issues, but it comes back to haunt you at the end of the season. If you're fighting for a 6th or 7th seed, you got to beat the teams within the conference. Yes, it was very exciting and happy to beat up on Rodgers and company, but the interconference games, they really don't help you except in the overall standings. Charles, thank you again. I do appreciate that. It's comments like that make me to come on here and drop more videos for you guys, because besides my family, this is the only thing I'm truly passionate about is this team. So, that being said, you have to win this game. Have to. And it would set up an absolute showdown when we go back home to play the New England Patriots with Bill and company. And I wouldn't want it any other way. And if we can win this game, I swear I'm going to get on here. I'm going to get on message boards, because I personally can't make it. I got little kids at home. But I want that stadium filled with green. Moore is a selfish. It's unacceptable. He needs to get opened. We're going to talk about it, Charles. Let me get into it. We're going to save more at the end. As far as the game goes, the one key factor that we're going to talk about is Russell Wilson. Now, Russell Wilson is no scrub. The guy played in 2 Super Bowls. He's got a ring. Although, with that being said, it hasn't translated on the field since getting to Denver. He has by far the ugliest contract currently in the National Football League. It might be the most disgusting contract ever signed. The amount of draft capital that Denver gave up to get this man, and for it to not translate on the field, is totally unacceptable. And I'm not putting that all on Russ, because I am a Russell Wilson fan. But that Nathaniel Hackett's a piece of shit, for lack of a better way of saying it. I mean, he is a terrible head coach. And I don't... What's up, Jake? No, it's the worst. No, it is more than Albert Hainsworth. So, how could you forget Hainsworth? $100 million. Shanahan benched his fat ass. How could you forget with that, man? Oh, my goodness. But, now, Russ, I mean, he's no scrub, like I said. I honestly think, I hate to say this, I would never wish a man's job on them. But if we go into Denver and do what we did to the Packers and the Dolphins to them, like win by 3 scores or more, do not be surprised if he's fired on the field as soon as the game is over. Believe me. Remember I said it on this channel on Thursday night. If the Jets blast Denver, not win by a field goal or less, I'm talking embarrass them thoroughly on their field where their fans are booing them into the tunnel, he's fired on the field as soon as the game is over. Mark my words on that. So, that being said, Russell Wilson's a game-time decision. If he's a no-go, expect to see Brett Rippon. For those of you that are older fans like myself, he's actually the nephew of former Redskins quarterback Mark Rippon. Thank you, John. I hope we beat their ass. I hope we do. Now, Denver's offense is absolutely atrocious, and that's with Russ or without him. That's their weak spot. They actually have a top-tier defense. So, in order to beat these guys, what they're going to try to do is force Zach to beat them through the air. He's been very pedestrian since his return, but honestly, he's been holding his own. I can't hate on the man. I want him to at least manage the game for now and keep stacking the wins. I'll take it as he's learning. You know, Josh Allen went through the same thing when he came into Buffalo. Homecoming for wins. Zach Wilson, I'm calling it for the BYU fans. Hey, man, whatever it takes, Gyro. Whatever it takes. I hope to God you're right. 8. So, as far as I think to win this game, you got to have a heavy dose of Breece Hall and Michael Carter, and if need be, sprinkle in Ty Johnson. We have to hit them in the mouth early. If we get the ball to start the game, and I know I'm beating a dead horse here, you have to score on the first possession, go all the way down the field and get a touchdown. Not 3, a touchdown. If you decide to defer, if you win the toss, I want them 3 and out. You say you're a top-tier defense, start acting like it. Hit them in the mouth, be disruptive at the line. Q, JFM, Michael Clemens. I mean, this guy's coming into his own, blocking punts, field goals, making, just causing disruption and havoc. I mean, Quan Alexander, CJ Mosley. These guys got to be all over the fucking field. And as far as our secondary goes, and people say, oh, well, Sauce doesn't get too many picks. Well, newsflash, the best corners in the league don't have high pick totals. You know why? Because the opposing quarterbacks will fear throwing to their sideline. And that's what I want. I don't want anybody tossing the ball that way. And the thing that's most impressive about that Sauce Gardner, what's up, Charles Vinny? Would love to hear your opinion about our game against the Pats. I want to pound them back to the stuff. We'll get to the Pats when the time is right, brother. We'll get to the Pats next week. We have to take care of business with Denver. I think we could beat the Pats. I fully do, because when you look at the roster top to bottom, ours is better on paper. But it's one thing to talk about it, but it's another thing when you show it. Because remember, I don't care how bad Bill's record is with the Pats right now. When he plays the Jets, he plays with blood in his eyes because he hates us so badly. He wants to thoroughly embarrass us and just try to show the league that we're a fluke, And that's another reason why I can't stand that, man. He walked out on us 20 years ago, and I still haven't forgiven him for it. So, back to our offense. We need to run the ball down these guys' throats. And when Zach drops back to pass, he's got to hit the guys in stride and hit them between the numbers. Even if it's the easy plays into the flats, out of the backfield, short receptions to the tight end. And newsflash, when we're going to talk about Elijah Moore momentarily. But Denzel Mims has been activated. Now this kid, let's not forget history here, he had a sensational preseason. And I, hand up, admittedly, was a big critic of Denzel Mims in the past couple of years with the drop passes, not lining up correctly, running out of the back of the end zone on certain plays. He did everything incorrectly, the food poisoning, you name it. I mean, I thought the writing was out the wall. I was at the point to say, trade this guy for a 6th-round pick. Just get him the fuck out of here. Then he shows up the preseason. He busts his ass. He catches everything thrown his way. He had the game of his life against the New York Giants. And even after all that, it wasn't enough to crack the starting lineup. And I felt for the guy. He busted his balls out there. But the Jets held their own, and they said, listen, we think too much highly of you to let you go for nothing. We're not going to do it for pennies on the dollar. So JD, the smart businessman that he is, he puts a grade on him that he's worth a 4th-round pick. And you're still taking a loss for a guy you invested a second into. And nobody took the bait. And that's fine. That's fine. And I don't want to just give him away. But here's a situation now where it was smart not to just give him away, because now we're going to talk about this prick and Elijah Moore and this absolute stunt that he pulled. I mean, when Douglas talked about the guys he wanted to build this program with, he wanted high-character guys, team guys, leaders, captains, guys that ate, slept, breathed, and shot football. This guy is turned around, and it looks like I just got sold a bill of goods that are worth horseshit at this point. We're 6 games into the season. In year 2 of a rebuild, you're on a 3-game win streak, and you pull this stunt requesting a trade. It's not even about money. For Christ's sake, you're complaining about your targets? Look at the stats. He's 4 targets shy, if I'm not mistaken, don't hold me to that, to being the most targeted receiver on the field. Catch the fucking ball. Try to get open. And then, my other man, I don't know if you saw this, Brandon Marshall went on Kay Adams' show. Jake Asman actually reported this earlier today. And he had the nerve to call out Zach Wilson and say, well, if I was Zach Wilson, I would have went out to the podium and I would have defended Elijah Moore and say, he's my guy and we do this for him and we're here to support him. He totally lied. He didn't watch the press conference. Are you kidding me? I watched it, and Zach Wilson came out and said, we're here for Moore. You know, he's our friend. We want to support him in any which way to make him successful here with this team. We want him to be here with us. Like, honest, and I have nothing but love and respect for a guy like Brandon Marshall with the contributions he made in the short period he had with this franchise. I still have his jersey. And he always talks well and highly about the Jets, not just the franchise, but the fans. And guys like that, and I've thrown so much money away on jerseys, I won't get rid of it. I won't. But that was some hot friggin' mouth diarrhea that he spewed today. It was totally just classless, disgusting. And it was uncalled for. But you know how it is with these wide receivers in this league. They look out for each other. They're divas. And something tells me in the back of my mind that other prick in Philadelphia and A.J. Brown had something to do with this. His situation was money. But this kid, mind you, what is he, 23 years old? You're in your second year. You were injured last year. He's only played, 16 games, and now you're saying you don't want to be a part of this anymore? Well, then get the fuck out of here. I don't even want him anymore at this point. My stand's not buying a jersey until a player gets his second contract. Jake, you want to know something? This is Vinny T's jersey, and he was like, hence the name of the channel, Vinny and the Jets, my favorite time as a fan of the franchise. But honestly, unless it's a bootleg, I only buy legends now. Like, my wife got me a Curtis Martin jersey on my birthday a couple of years ago. So that's the way to go. Buy legends. They're good for life. We'll talk about jerseys another time. But honestly, my honest opinion, and I think Elijah Moore has all the talent in the world. He hasn't even scratched the surface. But when you pull a stunt like this and try to divide the locker room, it's not even about the team anymore. It's about him. And I don't know what triggered this. I mean, I read somewhere online that, he had a dispute in the office with Coach LaFleur. And I'm not saying that's not true. It could very well be true. But at the end of the day, he's the coach and you're the player. You got to listen to him. And that just says one thing to me. Insubordination. I'm sorry, I don't want to sound like my old man. But at the end of the day, this is a job. Your boss tells you to do something, shut your mouth and do it, or you got to go work somewhere else. That's what it comes down to at this point. And you know what? Honestly, until he gets his head out of his ass, I would deactivate him every fucking week until he just comes to his senses and apologizes. And yeah, Vinny, yeah, that's likely. I know that's not. Or you trade his ass. But you know what? Ain't nobody going to trade for a guy who's got absolutely no stats to back up his resume. And that's the reality of the situation. So you can either shut your mouth and report to work, or get the fuck out of here. Go to Chicago. Go play with Justin Fields. Go have fun there. See how that works out. Go to Houston and play with David Mills. See how that works out. I would make it a point. You can't be traded to anyone who's got a winning record. So you can either build this thing the right way in the vision that Coach Saleh and JD had, or go to a losing franchise right now that's years away. I did see Sauce's tweet, Jake, a nice classic Bible verse, about selfishness and coming together as a team. I'm not going to paraphrase it because I don't have the quote in front of me, but he obviously sees what's going on, and it's little things like that make me think that I could see him in the future down the line. Maybe he should get a C on his chest, because he sees the things that are coming together. And, we've waited forever as a fan base for this team to, put it together. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. I said at the beginning of the year the benchmark should be 8 games for this franchise. Be competitive in the fourth quarter. Have games that are competitive in November and into December, and maybe be in the graphic where it says in the hunt. Like, there's 7 seeds in the playoffs. Could they be ranked 9th or 10th? Where maybe if they got help, things could come the right way. Maybe. But the Jets are ranked 3rd in the AFC now. When the hell was the last time this happened? I think 2015 we had a small taste of success. And then it blew up in our face. We haven't even come close since. That was 7 years ago. It was 11 years since we lost the AFC title game in Pittsburgh. I've had enough. I want to win. And this guy sees the team as winning, and he'd rather go contribute somewhere where they're losing rather than just be a part of something special when you're winning. Think about that. Think about it. He's deactivated for Sunday. It was the right move. I agree with it 100%. Denzel Mims, if you're watching this right now, I hope to Christ he catches 10 balls, gets a touchdown, and just lights it up. Take advantage of the opportunity, kid. It might not ever happen again. You don't know. Here's your chance. Show us something. Show us what you did to the Giants in the preseason. Put it on the field and prove that you belong. Guys, enjoy the game. As far as a prediction goes, a lot of those scumbags that hate the Jets in the media that are expecting a letdown, we're the better team here. We deserve to win. This Elijah Moore stuff will go away if you come back home on that flight with another W and a 4-game win streak. So guys, what's my prediction on this? Jets are going to win. It's going to be kind of ugly. It's low scoring. We are on the road. It's a West Coast game. I would like the Jets here 20-10. Write it down. I would take the under, and I would bet the money line hard. You owe me a shotgun, bro. Told you, Mims. Dan, now I'm glad you tuned in. For the record, Tyson and Primetime will back me up on this. I did do the shotgun week 1 at MetLife Stadium, and I told them to acknowledge that. So you can hold me to that and go back to I did do the shotgun. I swear to you. I did the shotgun. Thank you for tuning in, Dan, by the way. And we're going to get together one of these days. If it's not at the stadium, maybe at a draft party, something. We'll figure it out. But anyways, guys, final score for Sunday. Jets win 20-10. Like, share, subscribe. You can also find me on Twitter at VinAndTheJets. I'll talk to you guys next time.